The Golden State Warriors are entering a potentially pivotal offseason, and it could see them double down on their decision to add Jimmy Butler with someone he once sought to have joined him on the Miami Heat, Damian Lillard. The Milwaukee Bucks waived and stretched Lillard, who had 2 more seasons and $112.6 million remaining on his contract, thanks to a 2-year, $122 million contract extension. In the aftermath, the Warriors emerged as a team of interest. Another thing that I'm hearing, of the many teams that reached out to Damian Lillard, the Warriors are one of those teams, ESPN's Mark J. Spears said on NBA Today, per Bleacher Report's Scott Polacek on July 1st. This is a guy that grew up going to games at Oracle Arena, sneaking into the media room getting sodas. Grew up a Warriors fan. That's interesting. Hearing that the Warriors do have interest in Dame, I know that's very interesting to Bay Area people. Lillard is a 9-time All-Star and 7-time All-NBA selection. He would be the most accomplished backcourt mate Stephen Curry has ever had, though his fit is far more questionable than that of former Warriors star Klay Thompson. Warriors could benefit from Bucks' decision on Damian Lillard. Lillard, who turns 35 on July 15th, would join Curry in the Warriors' star's age 38 season. Both have dealt with injuries in recent seasons. The former Portland Trail Blazers star, Lillard, dealt with deep vein thrombosis that sidelined him for the final 14 games of the regular season. He returned during the playoffs, but tore his Achilles in Game 5 of the Eastern Conference first round against the Indiana Pacers. Lillard is expected to miss a significant portion of the 2025-26 regular season. Justin, the Milwaukee Bucks are waiving Damian Lillard and stretching the remaining $113 million on his contract in order to acquire Miles Turner, sources tell ESPN. Lillard's 2 seasons in Milwaukee come to an end as he rehabilitates a torn Achilles tendon, ESPN's Shams Charania reported on X on July 1st. The Bucks found a creative path to waive and stretch Lillard, whose $113 million will be stretched over the next 5 seasons, while leaving their future draft assets untouched. In a stunning turn of events, Miles Turner departs the Pacers to join the Bucks. Lillard may be on the Warriors' radar. More importantly, he sought to join Butler in South Beach before being traded to the Bucks. That could give the Warriors a leg up in any pursuit. Insider answers, big question about Damian Lillard. The Warriors' ability to remain under the luxury tax amid the ongoing uncertainty around restricted free agent Jonathan Kuminga could prove critical to landing Lillard, who is ecstatic about the incredible opportunity ahead of him, per his agent, Aaron Goodwin, via Spears. According to Spears, Lillard plans to rehab in Portland. That way, he can remain close to his family, which is extremely important for the PG. Moreover, the $14.1 million non-taxpayer mid-level exception could appeal to Lillard. He gets to be a free agent 2 years early, choose where he wants to go. Money really doesn't matter right now because he's still getting paid by the Bucks, Spears said. He'll be around. And how many teams are calling? Oh, they're calling. There's about double-digit number of teams calling, interested in him. I think the big question, too, is, well, when will Dame be back? There's some speculation that he could be back around the All-Star break. So if he signs with the team, it's probably going to may well be a 2-year deal, which gives him a very economical deal for that team, but also allows him to do a 2-year kind of tryout. See how it is. See if it's a place he could be long-term. The Warriors must be willing to do what it takes for a potential half-year of Lillard. There is also a risk that he is either not the same when he returns or leaves after next offseason. It could even be an unfortunate middle ground. The Golden State Warriors and forward Jonathan Kuminga have reached an impasse. They remain far apart in contract negotiations and, perhaps even more pressing, face challenges from the collective bargaining agreement. Anthony Slater of The Athletic reported on talks between the Warriors and Kuminga's camp about a long-term deal structure. However, that is all there has been, which only adds to the uncertainty around the situation. They haven't really been close. There's been no traction, and he's going to explore the restrictive free agent market, with the Warriors understanding that they can look at various sign-and-trade scenarios. But there's a lot of CBA mechanisms that make that really difficult. It's called this base year compensation rule that basically means the Warriors can only take back half of what they're sending out. So, there's a lot of complications here. But Jonathan Kuminga has high ambitions for himself, Slater said on NBA TV's Free Agent Fever on June 30th. He wants to spread his wings, potentially be an all-star. And the difficult challenge with him with the Warriors is that's, in some ways, kind of blocked. Kuminga averaged 15.3 points, 4.6 rebounds, and 2.2 assists during the 2024-25 regular season. Moreover, Slater noted the former number 7 overall pick, 2021, stepped up when an injury sidelined Stephen Curry during the second round of the 2025 playoffs. Kuminga is coming off a 4-year, $24.8 million contract with the Warriors. CBA foiling potential Bulls-Warriors sign dash and trade for Jonathan Kuminga. The Warriors appear to have a ready-made trade partner in the Chicago Bulls. However, Kuminga's salary and Golden State's financial situation as a team that would approach, if not cross, the luxury tax threshold in a sign-and-trade loom large. Chicago Sports Network's Casey Johnson noted the hurdles from the Bulls' perspective. Most notably, it clouds who they could send out in a potential trade with the Warriors for Kuminga. He has also heard little chatter about trade talks gaining steam. I'm here to tell you that I have not heard any traction on a sign-and-trade deal to the Bulls. That's not to say it won't happen. I'm just saying that I have not heard it, Johnson said on the Fast Break on July 1st. Let's just say $25 million for a starting salary. He counts for $25 million going out to the team that he's being traded to, and the Warriors can only take half that salary back in a trade. That would be $12.5 million if my math's correct. So, there goes the Nikola Vucevic contract. Does not fit in a base-year compensation trade with Jonathan Kuminga. Coby White could fit, but I would be surprised if the Bulls trade Coby White for Jonathan Kuminga. So again, we'll see where this goes. But that's where things stand. The base-year compensation rule does not exist in any other capacity beyond a sign-and-trade, putting Kuminga and the Warriors in a relatively rare spot. Base-year compensation, BYC, is mostly an artifact of previous collective bargaining agreements. Its intent was to prevent teams from signing free agents to new contracts with salaries specifically intended to help facilitate trades, NBA salary cap FAQ's Larry Kuhn wrote. The 2011 CBA mostly eliminated BYC. In fact, the term base-year compensation was removed from the agreement entirely. The rules formerly known as BYC now apply under just one circumstance, during sign-and-trade transactions. Jonathan Kuminga's future as uncertain as ever. Speculation has surrounded the Bulls and Kuminga frequently amid the uncertainty around his future with the Warriors. However, Hoops Hype's Michael Scotto wrote on June 16th that a return to Golden State is not out of the question. Kuminga's restricted free agent status is good news for the Warriors, who have the right of first refusal on any offer sheet he might sign this offseason. They can also pay him more than any other team. It's not easy to just necessarily right now get away from the Warriors, get the contract he wants, because the restrictive free agency market and the control that a team like the Warriors has over an asset that is still a young 22-year-old on the rise, Slater said. They have a lot of say in this. So, it could figure itself out in the next few days. But this is also a situation, I believe, in this free agent period, that might drag out more than some of the other situations. The Sacramento Kings have had an interesting offseason thus far as they try to turn their franchise around after missing the playoffs once again last season. Sacramento entered the offseason looking to upgrade one position on their roster, and they were able to do that on Tuesday. Of course, that position was the point guard spot as they signed free agent guard Dennis Schroeder to a 3-year contract as he will likely enter next season as the franchise's new starting point guard. The Kings also signed Drew Eubanks after he was waived by the Los Angeles Clippers as a replacement for Jonas Valanciunas, who they sent to the Denver Nuggets for Dario Saric on Tuesday. While the Kings have already made multiple moves, they reportedly are also targeting Golden State Warriors forward Jonathan Kuminga, and they may be willing to move on from one of their veteran guards to acquire him this summer. According to NBA insider Jake Fisher, the Kings would be interested in including Malik Monk in a trade package for Kuminga. Sources say that Sacramento, meanwhile, would be interested in including Malik Monk in any outgoing trade package, but nothing substantial has materialized with the Warriors, Fisher wrote. This is a major report by Fisher, and it appears as though Monk's time in Sacramento is nearing an end, as he has been the subject of multiple trade rumors over the last few weeks. With the Kings interested in Kuminga and him being a restricted free agent, they could package Monk with either other players or draft capital to land him from Golden State via a sign-and trade. The Kings' interest in Kuminga comes as somewhat of a surprise, as they had shown little interest in him prior to the last few days, which could signal a potential DeMar DeRozan trade later in the offseason if they are able to land him. While that may be the Kings' plan, they may have to outbid other teams for the Warriors' forward, and Kuminga would also want to go to Sacramento.